Today I'm going to discuss the most beautiful story is totally based on the Subroto um, Bagchi biography, and the whole story revolves around his whole life and his mother, and how she um, taught him two lessons of life which are very important for him, and how is he manage all the things in his childhood time with his family. And Go Kiss the World is totally whole story revolves around the Subroto Bakshi lives and his childhood, and his motivational um, motivations, issues, and lessons teach by his mother and all that thing. So now going to discuss this. Subroto Bakshi was born on the 31st May 1959, who was an entrepreneur and business leader. He is the co-founder of Mintry and a business author. Bakshi was born to Makhan Gopal Bakshi and Labona Pruva Bakshi in Pat- Patnagar, Odisha, where his father was a junior government service servant. He has narrated the story of his life in his book Go Kiss the World, published by the Penguin Portfolio. So, in this paragraph, we have discussed how the Subroso Bakshi was born on the 31st May 1959, and who was an entrepreneur and the business leader, and he is the co-founder of the Mint Tree and a business author. Bakshi was born to Makhan Gopal Bakshi and Lav- Lavanya Pruva Bakshi in the Patnagar, Odisha, where his father was a junior government servant, and he has narrated the story of his life in the book Go Kiss the World, published by the Penguin Portfolio. Go Kiss the World were Subroto Bakshi's blind mother's last words to him. These words became the guiding principles of his life. He talks about his family, of his father's job as a tehsildar in small town Odisha, the role of his brothers played in his life in shaping his personality. So, in this paragraph, we have discussed how the Gokis were Subroto Bakshi's blind mother's last words to him. These words became the guiding principle of his life. He talks about his family, of his father's jobs as a tehsildar in small town Odisha, the role of his brother played in his life is in shaping his personality. Subroto Bakshi grew up amidst what he saw material simplicity of rural and small town Odisha. He was the last child of small-time government servant in a family of five brothers. At that time, there was no electricity, primary schools nearby, and water did not flow out of a tap. As a result, he did not go to the school until the age of 8. So, in this paragraph, we have discussed about the time hmm, uh, at of Subroto's Bakshi's childhood time. Uh, when he grew up, there were no electricity, there were um, no water, and water facility is not available at that time, and primary schools nearby are also not available, and as a result he did not go to the school until the age of 8. And Subroto Bakshi grew up amidst what he sells material simplicity of rural and small town Odisha. He was the last child of small time government servant in a family of five brothers. Okay? And so he was the younger brother in five of them. At least uh, at at that time there was no electricity primary school and nearby the area and city, and water did not flow out of a tap, so water facility is not available properly in the houses. As a result, he did not go to the school until the age of 8. According to the Subroto Bakchi's success is the about of vision. It is the ability to rise above the it is the ability to rise above the immediacy of fame. It is about imagination and sensitivity to small people. It is about the building inclusion. So, according to the Subroto Bakchi, success is the about of visions. It is the ability to rise above the immediacy of pain. It is about imagination, sensitivity to small people. ठीक है? It is about the building inclusion. So, this kind of a vision and this kind of a success story is here, and how the ability to rise above the immediacy of pain, and how the imagination and sensitivity to the small people, and it is all about the building inclusion. ठीक है? And Gok is the world will be on inspiration to young India and to those who come from the small town India, and urging them to recognize. His father used to get the transferred every year, and as a parents set foundation of life. So Gok is the world will be on inspirations to young India and to those who come from small town India, and urging them to recognize. ठीक है? His father used to get transferred every year, and as a parent set foundations of life. So mother also had a paralytic stroke at the age of 82. So at the age of 82, Subroto Bakchi's mother had a paralytic stroke. The narrator flew back from the US to attend to her in the hospital. After the few days when he had to return to work, he kissed her. ठीक है? And she have told him and kissed the word. Mother also had a paralytic stroke at the age of 82, and the narrator flew back from the US, ठीक है, to attend to her in the hospital. After the few days when he had to return to work, he kissed her, and she have told him and kissed the world. And this kind of a last wording of his mother, who had paralytic stroke at the age of 82, and Subroto Bakshis have to come back from USA, and how he meet his mother, and what are the last wording with him, and this kind of a discussion is here, and narrator mother taught two valuable lessons to her. One, we should not depend on anyone for anything and help ourselves as soon as possible. So, one should not depend on anyone and as soon as possible. ठीक है? And second is we should remain optimistic and see only light with one eyes closed. ठीक है? सो नरेटर मदर ये जो नरेटर की मदर थी उन्होंने दो लेसन से टॉर्च किए हैं, and which are the valuable lessons for his life. And the first lesson is that we should not depend on the others. Okay? And the second word is we should remain optimistic and see only light with one's eyes closed. ठीक है? आइज क्लोज होने के बाद भी हमें लाइफ में डार्कनेस नहीं देखनी चाहिए. वी शुड सी द लाइट. वी शुड think positive. We should always positive. Okay. Narrator's father was a strong believed in the British Raj. On the controversy to it, his mother was a um, staunch, uh, staunch nationalist and active freedom fighter. Thus two were extract opposite. ठीक है. नरेटर के जो फादर थे वो एक स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीवर थे इन द ब्रिटिश राज. ठीक है. And on the contrary to it, the mother was a staunch nationalist and एक्टिव फ्रीडम फाइटर. ठीक है. तो उसकी जो मदर थी जस्ट अपोजिट थी. वो एक्टिव फ्रीडम फाइटर थी एंड स्टॉनिश नेशनलिस्ट थी. And thus two word extract opposite. So both are opposite according to their point of views, according to their lessons. ठीक है. तो both mother and father of the Subroto Bakshis were opposite to each other. The last chapter of the book, he enlists the important lessons I have learned in my life, where he stress believe in yourself and the need to contact with however marginal they may seem to me. ठीक है. In the last chapter of the book, he enlists the important lesson I have learned in my life, where he stress believed in yourself and the need to connect with however marginal they may seem to me. There is conclusion here. Go kiss the world was Subroto's Bagchi's blind mother last word to him, and this word became the guiding principle of his life. He talks about his family, of his father's job as a tehsildar in a small town, Odisha. ठीक है. So according to the Subroto Bagchi's biography and whole chapter, there is a conclusion that book is the world is a whole about the Subroto Bagchi's blind mother last words to him. ठीक है. And the two lessons she taught him at the last moments. One is that we should not depend on anyone, and the second is that we should see the light even our eyes are closed. ठीक है. These words became guiding principle of his life. He talks about his family and of his father's job as a tehsildar in a small town, Odisha. So this kind of a conclusion we have from this chapter. And what two lessons did the narrator mother teach the children? So the most important questions which is repeated again and again in your questions papers. So first of all you have to write the introduction. So Rotos Bakshis was born on the 31st May 1959, and who was an entrepreneur and the business leader, and he is the co-founder of the Ministry and a business author. Bakshi was born to hmm, Makhan Gopal Bakshi and Labonia Provo and Bakshi in the Patnagar, Odisha, where his father was a junior government service, and he has narrated the story of his life in his book Gok is the World, published by the Penguin Portfolio. ठीक है. And in the second paragraph, you have to write about the Gok is the World's mm, lessons and how the whole story revolves around in his childhood, and which kind of a time, which kind of facilities are available in this time, and you have to explain all these things. Go kiss the world was Subroto's Bakshi's blind mother last words to him, and these words became the guiding principle of his life. He talks about his family and his father's job as a Tahsildar in a small town, Odisha, and the role of his brothers played in his life in shaping his personality. Okay? And in the third paragraph, we have discussed about the Subroto Shrikshis grew up in the Amit's world. Um, what he sells material simplicity of the ruler and the small town Odisha, and he was the last child of a small time government servant in a family of five brothers. At that time, there was no electricity, primary schools nearby homes, and water did not flow out of a taps. As a result, he didn't go to the school until the age of 8. According to Subroto's Bakshi, success is about of the vision, and it is the ability to rise above the immediacy of pain. It is about the imagination and sensitivity to small people, and it is about the building inclusion. Okay? And in the next paragraph, Go Kiss the World will be on inspirations to young India and to those who come from small town India, and urging them to recognize. And his father used to get transferred every year, and as a parent set foundations of of his life. And in the next paragraph, the mother also had a paralytic stroke at the age of 82. The narrator flew back from the US and to attend her mother in the hospital. After the few days when he had to return to work, he kissed her, and she have told him and kissed the world. So the last word of her mother to him is go kiss the world, and always see the light in your life. Neither your eyes are closed, and you should not depend on anyone as soon as possible. So, narrator's father was a strong believed in the British Raj. On the contrary to it, his mother was a staunch nationalist and active freedom fighter, thus to were exact opposite. The last chapter of the book, he enlists the important lesson I have learned in my life, and where he stressed believed in yourself and the need to connect with however marginal they may seems to be. ठीक है? In the last chapter, so Bakshi discussed this kind of a thing, and the conclusion we have, as we have discussed, Gog is the word verse of Ruthos Bakshi's blind mother last word to him, and these words became the guiding principle of his life. And he talks about his family, of his fathers, like brothers, and the job of Tehsildar in a small town, and which kind of a time mm, when he grew up in Amit's city. So, Amit's small town. Uh, What did the neighbors ask narrator's mother, and what were her reply? So, this kind of questions are related to this chapter. You have to answer all these kind of important questions in your paper, and as I have discussed in this video, you have to write your answer in the same structure, introduction of the Subroto Bakshis and the introduction of the whole story, and and the whole biography of the Subroto Bakshi, and how he discussed all the things about his family and his mother's last word, and the last two lessons of his mother taught to him. So, and which kind of a family background he have, and how his mother uh, is had a paralytic stroke at the age of 82, and he had to come back from the USA to attend her in the hospital, and he kissed his on his head on her head, and his mother told him, don't kiss me, go kiss the world, okay? And taught him two lessons, about most important two lessons. One is that we should not depend on anyone as soon as possible, and the second is that we should uh, uh, we should always see the light either our eyes are closed. ठीक है? Even our eyes are closed, we should always see the light in her life. So this kind of a discussion we have, you have to write your answer in the stream chakra. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.